probably like 10, 11 years ago, I started to have this shift in the way I saw the structures of the world and our governments and the interests and where the money is going and where the money comes from and just all of the injustices that are perpetuated onto the world without our consent. You know, we're thrown into these situations with horrible trauma and fear mongering, and it propels us into, you know, these situations where we're gladly giving up our freedoms. And right now, freedom of speech is like the biggest thing in the world. You know, like you can't say something against another country without being put on a list, without being monitored or whatever, right? And that's just not, that's not the world I want to live in. And I'm pretty sure you guys would agree. You know, it's like freedom of speech, that encompasses everything. That includes the stuff that you don't want to hear. That includes somebody else's opinion, somebody else's vulgarity. They have a right to express their point of view or their said vulgarity, whether you agree or not. That is their right just as much as it is your right. And that's something that people think is more of a privilege these days. And that's the whole like mind control brainwashing that society is under, where we look at these God-given rights to freedom of choice, freedom of expression. We look at them as privileges now because that's what our government pumps down our throat, that we should feel privileged to have these. You know, they're not rights. Really, they are, you know. And so anyway, I just started to see things in a different way. I was a hardcore liberal, you know, for most of my young adult life. And, you know, my parents were very conservative. So, of course, I like all things sort of counterculture. So I was hardcore liberal. But now it's like, I'm neither. I'm neither liberal or conservative because just like Mark Twain said, if voting mattered, they wouldn't allow us to do it, you know, and that's kind of like my mantra. And some may agree with that and some may not, you know, but I've gone through to where I was so gung-ho about, you know, all of participating in all of my local elections and national elections. Like I've been there, I've been in that programming, and now I realize it's just all a farce and it doesn't matter. You know, it's all been planned out. Everything's orchestrated down to a T, you know, and it's this new shift in consciousness though that gives me hope that people are going to start waking up from the terrible, you know, hypnotic trance that we've been put under all of these years.
I'm a traveler, time traveler, center of the star to the center of a nebula. Traveler, time traveler, center of the star to the center of a nebula.